Thank you, everyone. Today, Josh and I will be giving our presentation on business and microeconomics.
Wait, Luke, that's really stupid. Let's change it up.
You're right. My bad.
Let's do it on who killed JFK.
Really? JFK? I feel like someone already did that.
Maybe.
You know what we should do? Fortnite. Now, what is Fortnite? You guys might know it as a free-to-play game on Xbox, PC, mobile, PlayStation 4. It's all out there. Everyone plays it. But basically, to break it down, it's a 100-person PvP, which is player versus player. So you're playing against 100 real people, and this is how you start. You start off in the battle bus. That's that blue bus right there, has a hot air balloon on top, and it glides through the sky, traverses the whole map in a randomized direction. Then, it's all about the drop. You drop from the sky from that battle bus in any one of those locations, anywhere on the map. From there, you have to pick up a gun as fast as you can. And from there, you get kills. Kills lead to dubs, okay? And so, the storm is what pushes people together. Storm is the outside surrounding area back on around the map. So slowly, it's going to start sinking in to any location, and it forces people to get together. And that's how you get the dub. Now, here's the next topic of video game violence versus real life violence. A lot of people say that violence in video games leads to violence in real life, but I'm here to tell you that that's wrong. In a study of 330,000 gamers and non-gamers that the game theorist did, he disproves this fact.
At the yard at Citizens Bank Park, you'll find free activities like the Citizens Bank Fan Field, the Fanatic Rock Climbing Wall, and even a mini bullpen for your littlest pitchers, and a special Hatfield Frank hot dog launcher. For tickets or info, visit Phillies.com.
Sup, fam, it's your boy, back for experiment was to explore the... But with 330,000 responses in total, even throwing out a few thousand left me with hundreds of thousands of data points. So the real average age of survey takers was 17, and the male-female split was 80-20. The goal of this whole experiment was to explore the major differences between the players of two different, yet very similar and very popular Battle Royale-style games. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG for short, and Fortnite. Secondly, I wanted to examine whether aggressiveness or violent video games increased aggression in their players in the wake of news stories like this.
Now the latest video game craze is Fortnite. It's free, addictive, violent, and kids love it.
And this.
Possible crackdown on violence in video games. President Trump meeting with top executives from the gaming industry.
And I gotta say, after crunching the numbers, it's gonna be pretty hard to make video games a scapegoat ever again. So I hope you're listening, media and scientific community. I mean, let's face it, I know they're not, but you know what? You are. And arming yourself with knowledge to use in your next Twitter rant aimed at the Wall Street Journal is all that truly matters. Firstly, are PUBG players significantly different from Fortnite players? Well, statistically, no, not a whole lot. In the survey, I asked gamers to break down whether they had or were currently playing either Fortnite, PUBG, both, or neither. And when comparing the gamers who were only playing Fortnite with the ones who were only playing PUBG, there wasn't a whole lot of difference. PUBG players were slightly older, 17.5 versus 16, and were much more heavily skewed toward the PC master race, with 63% preferring PC versus 44% of Fortniters. And honestly, that shouldn't be all that surprising, right? Fortnite is more widely released on console and didn't start its early days on PC only. So those were the minor differences, but in the important areas like playstyle, social behavior, and personality type, the two were practically identical. They even agreed on their stance where things got interesting. While there wasn't much of a difference between people who had played either PUBG or Fortnite, there was a significant difference between people who had played both games versus those who had only played one. Let's call them the hardcore battle royalers versus more casual battlers. And what's more, the group who hadn't played any battle royale style game also showed significantly different results from the other two categories. So from here on out, I'll be comparing the battle royale Royalers group, consisting of those who actively played both games, against the Pub-Nighters, those who've only played one of those games. To the group of people who hadn't played either, category I'm gonna call the iDubber, which obviously stands for I Don't Usually Battle Royale. That ZUC is silent, and any similarity to known and popular YouTuber names is purely coincidental, I assure you. Now, to give some context, the iDubbers were on average slightly older, 18, and the Battle Royalers were closer to Fortnite age, 16.5. In total, of those 330,000 responses, about 150,000 were a Pub-Nighter, 130,000 were an iDubber, and the other 50,000 were Battle Royalers. And there were a few things all three groups agreed on, like how they're all slightly better than average at playing video games. But as for their skills as gamers, 68% of responses, regardless of category, rated themselves at either a 7 or an 8. Only one or two truly brave souls rated themselves as a 1. To those people, was this. Games don't necessarily make people more aggressive, but certain personality types may be more drawn to these sorts of games. We would expect to see some personalities show up more or over-index for playing Battle Royale games if this is indeed true. And immediately in the data, one point stood out. The Royalers were just more extroverted overall, by about 14% relative to the iDubber category. So seeing that, I really started to crunch some numbers. And if I could just take a minute for a PSA right now. Relative to variable of the games, I crossed the 8 different personality traits measured by the test against aggression and risk-taking responses. And it turns out my hypothesis was right. Introverts, on average, reported their levels of aggression to be 5.7. Extroverts, on the other hand, rated themselves at nearly 6.5 on average. Thinkers also rated their playstyle as more aggressive relative to feelers, 6.3 compared to 5.7. And wouldn't you know it, but a combination of the two traits, extroverted thinkers produce the most aggressive players by far. You actually see the scale go up. Introverted feelers are at the super low 5.5, introverted thinkers and extroverted feelers jump up to 6.2. Again, remember that both of these only have one of the more aggressive personality trait types. And finally, extroverted thinkers, the double whammy, are at the highest levels of aggressive play at 6.8. A similar trend is visible in the risky strategy category. Meanwhile, the other personality traits, intuiting versus observing and judging versus prospecting, showed no difference. Fascinating, right? But if you actually stop and think about what these traits mean, it starts to make sense. An aggressive strategy is going to require you to get up in people's faces, be forceful.
So, originally I thought I would have more time to present that video because I thought we had the whole period. So I had to insert clips and bits of that, which mainly they described that the aggression that people have in video games doesn't necessarily come from the video games for real life people. It talks about how games are geared for those people and that they don't have those personality traits because of the games. They already have those personality traits and it's showed up in the games. And so it opens up a new market for video game genres.
Now to my part of the presentation, we're going to be talking about tips and tricks to obtain the dub. A dub in Fortnite is also known as a W or win. And to do that, you have to be aggressive in the game. It's a very difficult game to win, so you have to always be aggressive and always build. Building in Fortnite is a key component to the game. If you've played it before, you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, then you don't. When you start the game, you have to be the first to get all the loot within the map. If you want to win, the game. Alright. Also, if you're playing with other people, you have to have communication with your squad mates to also win the game. See that visual there is me and Luke playing together as a pair. The Battle Royale aspect of the game is one of the most enticing parts of Fortnite Battle Royale. Fortnite is not the first of its kind to do this style of game, but it is the best of its kind. There are always different updates to the game that make it fresh and new for players, and that's why everybody plays it all the time. Oh, and the end game of Fortnite, if if you're one of the last people alive, then you have to be very careful when you. Alright, so in the end game, in the end game of Fortnite, you may get something called the top 5 shakes. Is when there are 5 people left alive in the game, and you have to kill all of them. And so you got to overcome that. Shakes are basically when you're playing the game, and you start shaking like this. That's why I have the controller here. And then once you do get the win or the dub, you post on Snapchat. Those are our Snapchats right there. And that's what everybody does. Once they win a game of Fortnite, they post on Snapchat. Alright, now getting into the more business side of things, the less lighthearted part. Fortnite has a genius business model. It's free to play. You don't have to pay to play it. There is a paid option though, where it will give you a non-competitive advantage. So that means if you don't pay for the game, you have the same, like,
So basically, paying for the battle pass gives you cosmetic looks, like so you can change your skin, look different, look cooler, make yourself jazzed up and everything. But it doesn't offer any actual advantage in the game, so everyone's still in the same playing field, and it doesn't mess with that aspect.
This has resulted in a increase of players, and at about March of this year, there were 3.4 million players playing at any given time on Fortnite Battle Royale. See up there is one of the skins that you can get if you pay for the game, but it doesn't cost any money.